Hello there, welcome back to profneel. It's a pleasure having you here. Be open and ready to learn nuggets of the Bhagwad Gita from my students in this case. As I always maintain, blessed is a teacher who shares limited knowledge with the students to be enriched for him to beget lessons from on wisdom. That bartering of knowledge is returned in wisdom. From them years later after they or decades later after they've passed out, it would take me a lifetime to mention each and every one of my 1,000 students learning that I have learned from. But I just talk about three of them here and the profound meaning of what is said in a book or in a film relating to the Bhagwad Gita, my handbook to so to say, which they explain to me in depth. Illinois-based Rajat Kapoor, my class of 1991, who heads a vertical for Morgan Stanley. When I wrote to him in my harrowing times, nostalgic of the youth who was happiest in his world then at Pusa, his world comprising of his students, lesson plans, classrooms, a small office, a small little office, seated with his back to the windows, his table stacked with the student journals, either marked or waiting to be marked, interacting with them on the sports field and the cultural arena also. I added to it, बना के क्यों बिगाड़ा रे नसीबा ऊपर वाले, that mukhada of that beautiful song from the film Zanjeer. He replied, "Sir, it's not a happy answer, but it's the only one. Pralabdha or Prabdha." My dad would say this quoting Swami Shivananda. Prabdha, referring to the Bhagwad Gita. Prabdha is a portion of the Sanchita Karma, which affects us in our present Janma, affecting our body, life, and our circumstances. It's on account of your past life karmas. There is no way, there's no other way but to experience it. There's no way it can be extinguished, as we have to pay for our debts of the past life which we carried forward. For some, it may bring about a spiritual awakening. Sonu Gusain, an honorary member of my class of 1992, Delhi-based, Sonu is my go-to man for anything and everything regarding Bollywood. Not surprising, our conversation turned to the film Anand, where Anand, ailing from cancer, is taken to the Baba, who does not speak but communicates by writing on the slate board on Anand's Rakhi sister, pleading to bless Anand with good health and longevity. Sonu replied, "Jo mit raha hai, wo shareer hai." Is what the Baba writes, sir. I said, yes, for us to talk about the Atma and the body and other related matters, that the body decays, not the Atma. Bhandari, my class of 1994, it seemed had mastered the sense of detachment then itself when he was at Pusa. Because this Mayo College alumni, whom I recall more, or we all recall, the cricket team recalls more as a cricketer who practiced the adage of at least, if you can't play cricket, at least dress like one. He is remembered for being the perfect poster boy for the MCG coaching manual, batting the V, and his strokes would always go the V. His bowling, his fielding with both the hands with both the feet behind the hands, to ensure. And he would take any catches on left or right with both hands, unlike us, all of us. I remember that there are so many occasions about him that I remember his sense of detachment. But when he was bowling and when a very close LBW would go against him, decision on his appeal, the ultimate disappointment he would show is put his hands on his head and look up to the heavens with a wry smile on his face. And then he would never look at the umpire, never glare at the umpire or appeal again, shout. Just be a very polite inquiry. How's that? And pick up the ball and then go back into bowl with the same zest, same vigor, same mood. Because then itself he was focused on the effort and not on the result. It was very clear his sense of the attachment and being detached. It was wonderful to get in touch with him last month. After 1994, he's now a military officer, and somehow I don't know how we got talking about the Bhagavad Gita. So I brought him down to the film. I pinned him down to the film guide which in the end has the Bhagavad Gita message, where, and of course the film is more remembered for its being ahead of its time, for a woman then to bed a stranger. Of course, I mean, that is a tourist guide, that to played by Devanand, Vahida Rehman and Devanand. But there are many other factors to it, but that is not related to this. But Dev Saab is a crook of a tourist guy in this, tourist guide, and after being betrayed in love apparently by this lady, which he thinks, he lands up in a village, and the villagers mistake him for a Baba, a Mahatma. And they believe in him for bringing about the much needed rains. He's moved by the belief in him, and then their prayers as well. On their flight, he goes on a fast to death if need be for rains. It rains. Just before that, he murmurs, दूर पहाड़ों पर बारिश हो रहा है, शरीर भीग रहा है, बदलने का समय आ गया है. I was enlightened with Bhandari adding, which I didn't know at all, Sir, badalne ka samay aa gaya means that is a sign of the Atma living the present physical body as Raju Guide's higher purposes for which he had been created has been achieved. I said, oh my God, fantastic enlightenment. I was overawed by his enlightening me. So much so we conversed late and long in the evening that day, as we both converse almost daily now, late evening, on Dvaita, Advaita, the Brahman, etc. I mean, everything related to the spiritual and to the faith, and the Bhagavad Gita ultimately is the core of that existence. And he's very well learned. He quotes from other scriptures also. Besides the love for Hindi songs, Dafi Sahab and Mukesh and all keeps that relationship alive again. That's why I summed up to accept why I had a paralytic. That's when I accepted why I had the paralytic stroke. To find unexpected support from my students and very few friends when those related by blood had given up on me. I was fighting other battles besides fighting the demons within myself. Unexpected allies cropped up to literally force me to be a motivational speaker, a successful author, IELTS trainer, book reviewer, and so many other hats I am wearing. I don't know whether this is my higher purpose or this is my path to my higher purpose. If not for the paralytic stroke and to be left high and dry by my kith and kin because of my prabdha, I would have remained a retired teacher with full service and on a full pension. A dull and absolutely boring life. A pensioner's life. But I'm living a life full despite my challenges. Again, like Arjuna, when faced with the most difficult time of his life, getting the message of the Bhagavad Gita from the greatest guru, here I got the message of the Bhagavad Gita from my students with whom I had shared limited knowledge. In barter, they enriched me with the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. There's a Raju Guide in each of us who shall rise up to the occasion. We never know for what higher purpose we have been created for. We shall never know where the next insight is coming from. That wisdom to make the difference, the impact, knowingly. Hence, let's be open to benefit from any learning, be it from any source, as in this case from my students. Embrace the twist to enjoy the turn.